Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Taking the Lead Media Podcast, broadcasting from the lovely island of Oahu, playing independent music on the weekly. My name is Onofre, and welcome to episode 113. Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the last episode. Awesome tracks by Adrenalized, Inspection 12, Lowbrow, Unit 11, and a new track from MRFer. Please do check it out. It's on the podcast website, takingtheleadmedia.com, or on iTunes, because this be an Apple podcast. On today's show, I'm joined by Ron of Snubbed Records and the band The Alements, both based in Annapolis, Maryland. A little bit about Snubbed Records. It's actually a fairly new label established earlier this year. Currently on the roster are a lineup of excellent punk rock and rock bands, both local to Maryland and a couple out-of-staters. The bands include The Alements, The Barren Marys, Canker Blossom, The Hi-Fi Ninja, Idleminds, The Independents, Savage Remains, Subtastics, and Trigger 13. Read more about these bands and what the label's up to on their website, snubbedrecords.com, or they also be on Facebook as well. On today's show, I talked to Ron about his label, his band, the bands he's currently working with, upcoming releases, and download codes, and a little bit about Warped Tour, just a tiny bit. And at the beginning of this interview/chat, I introduced Ron as Nick, and he corrects me. I was so embarrassed and ashamed of myself. I was going to cut that whole part out, but now I deserve to be shamed. No, just kidding. But you'll also hear tunes on the show by The Alements, Canker Blossom, The Hi-Fi Ninja, and Idleminds scattered throughout this talk. So check out show notes for timestamps or visit this podcast's website, takingtheleadmedia.com. All right. Well, here's my chat with Ron of The Alements and Snubbed Records here on the Taking the Lead Media Podcast. All right. Well, yeah, thanks, Nick, for coming on the show. I'm Nick of Snubbed Records, right?
It's Ron, actually.
Ron, I'm so sorry, Ron.
Yeah.
Oh, edit. No, I'm just kidding. Ron.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was looking at, Ron. All right, cool. Based out of just outside of Baltimore, right?
Yeah, Annapolis, Maryland. Yep.
Nice. Sorry, I've seen the movie Annapolis.
Oh yeah.
Right on. Snubbed Records. Are you also playing in Alements?
Yeah, I play bass for the Alements. Yep.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of just bumped into like Snubbed Records on Twitter. I've seen some activity going on, and it looks like just a fairly new label. When did you get started?
Yeah, so I just launched things this past June, and it kind of started as like a home for the Alements. I was searching for record labels, that had any interest in the Alements, and I just decided to start my own. And with all the connections I've made over the past few years with the Alements, I've gotten a lot of interest in other bands and they've all wanted to hop on board. So it's kind of grown a lot in the past 5 months.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen a lot of activity, a lot of recent signings too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
The most recent signing, would that be Canker Blossoms?
Well, Canker Blossom was actually the first band that I signed outside of the Alements.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they were the first, and they also their CD that's out now, In Space, is the first release for Snubbed Records.
Oh, okay.
And it's getting a lot of good reception. People seem to really like it. Yeah,
it's really poppy, really catchy stuff.
Yeah, it's super catchy. Yeah, they're good, man. Like Alicia, the singer, like she's just an incredible songwriter. She's really talented. Like every song on that album is super catchy.
And all their previous work too, I really enjoy. So
I
gotta say thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's cool. You could hear the progression from album to album with them, and this one is it's just really it's very well written, and yeah, it's just a great album.
Yeah. Um, any plans for any physical formats for this record?
So right now they have CDs that they're selling like at their shows,
Oh, okay.
and I'm probably going to do a run like a vinyl pressing next year. Um, and I'm talking to a company right now for distribution. So hopefully by next summer you'll have the opportunity to like actually buy the vinyl, and it'll come with a digital download card.
Right.
Um, so that's something that we're looking to put out next year.
Oh, okay. Right on. Ask like
Yeah,
um I bought records from some labels, and I noticed like uh some 10 or not 10, but like they don't provide a download card with their records.
I
And
know that.
and so I'm like, well, I mean, if that's cool. Like, I don't mind if I want to get like a digital version, I'll pick it up. But like,
Right.
how do you feel about that? Like, would you?
Oh, I think it's a necessity to have a download card. I mean, nobody. So I've been into punk music for years, and I just got a record player for the first time like last month.
Oh wow,
So, and I have records.
yeah,
I buy them because of the novelty of it, because it's cool. Like it's kind of like a collector's item type thing.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I'm literally listening to some records that I bought in 1995 for the first time.
oh wow,
Um, so yeah, so I really think that it's that providing that digital download card is key. Now there are some bands that just don't like doing it
mm,
because they feel that once the song is downloaded, it could just be passed on for free to other people.
yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, I get maybe that's why some bands do it, but I think providing that opportunity for somebody to listen to it in their car, or on their headphones, I mean, you
yeah.
need to provide that extra outlet for them to listen to the music. I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially with the digital market, I think that's
Oh
really
yeah,
important. But yeah, like the same here. Like my first record that I ever bought was from this local band here, and I never had a
yeah,
record player. Like I just bought it just cause just to have it. I really like this band, and it just so
yeah.
happened like my friend's mom was getting rid of her record player. He was like, "Do you want
Oh
it?"
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah, yeah,
I hear these songs for the first time. I'm like, "Okay, I'm into it."
yeah, yeah. I've had, like I said, I've been buying records since 95, 94, and like it's just I've always had this huge box of records that has just traveled with me everywhere that I've never been listened to.
Mm.
And last month I got this record player and I pulled that box from under my steps, blew the dust off of it, and listened to them.
How's the so the records you bought from back then, like were they around like the same price as records going now, or were they a lot cheaper back then?
They're cheaper because I can see the price tags on them, like
Yeah.
299 or 199 for like a 7 inch.
Mm.
Um,
Right.
it's gotten really expensive to press vinyl.
Is it?
In
Yeah.
the past year. Yeah, it's super expensive. It's I have a split 7 inch coming out with the Alements and the Independents next month,
Oh, okay.
and it was like yeah, it was like 2 grand for 500.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah,
And
and
that's
that's just
just
for
for
7 inch.
yeah, and that's not
Yeah,
including all the sleeves and inserts.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, no, that does include that includes the sleeves for that.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
sure.
but yeah, so I mean, it's way more expensive than CDs.
Mm. Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Oh man.
It's just coming back. It's kind of like trendy now again.
Yeah, that's true. I know. It was just a few years ago, and it's like, oh man, I kind of had to stop because it was hurting my bank account.
Yeah, it's really easy to get swept, like, caught up in buying records.
I know, right? The trend is like, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I had to get the subscription on iTunes, so
yeah,
I get to hear everything before now at least.
yeah. I listen to Google. I use Google Play, and I have the same thing. So
Oh, okay, okay.
it's like listen to anything.
How's the Is that a good like? How's the subscription on Google Play? 'Cause I know there's.
It's so
Go
it's
ahead.
like 9.99 a month.
Okay.
Um, and I've never had I've been able to like look up every band that I've ever liked, and I've found them on there in some capacity. So
Oh, okay.
I think it's really cool. Yeah,
Nice, nice. Because I know just well for me, I only know the top are iTunes and Spotify,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so I got iTunes before, but I know Spotify is like really popular too. But
yeah. I
s-
Spotify is popular, and I've tried to like I don't know. I'm not very fast with the computers, but I've tried to download Spotify a couple times. I just don't like the interface. For some reason, it just
mm,
I don't know. And everything that is in Spotify, I've been able to find in Google Play. Um,
I see.
so I've always used Google Play. So
Yeah, I feel like iTunes library is a lot uh more large than Spotify, and
yeah, step
I've heard like the horror stories too. Like I've seen like posts regarding like artists getting like royalty checks from Spotify,
yeah,
and I'm like, oh man, that's
yeah,
terrible.
yeah,
In supporting the
yeah,
artist, but but I think iTunes is enough for me right now.
yeah, yeah.
I gotta ask too, like, what's your preferred format? Do you like cassette tapes too?
So when I first started the label, I was pretty much just going to go for 100% digital.
Oh, okay, okay.
Um, so yeah, I was going to leave the physical production up to the bands, and I was going to provide studio time and putting up their stuff digitally. But there's with the resurgence of vinyl, it's like it's super popular and everybody loves it.
Yeah.
Um, and I know with the Elements, and I've talked to other bands and they're the same way. Like there aren't many people that are into buying CDs anymore.
Mm.
Um, and the one problem with vinyl is not everybody has a record player, and you don't obviously have one in your car, which was where the digital download cards come in.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so my preferred format and the format that I'm going to go with from here on out is probably vinyl with the digital download option inside.
Nice.
Um, yeah, and if a band wants to do CDs, that's fine. I have Subtastics, that band that's on my label. They're putting out a cassette next month.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
'Cause those are kind of coming back as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there should be a variety on Snub, but my preferred is the vinyl.
Mm. How about personally?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Final. Nice. It's the way to go right now. But I still hear I still have friends that still buy CDs too, and I think they
Oh yeah,
that's still the superior format for them.
yeah, yeah. It's the easiest one. I mean, you could most cars still have CD players, so
Right.
you know
It still exists.
it does.
Yeah, so a lot of these the bands on your label are local. How's the scene
Yeah.
in Baltimore?
So it's it's not as big as it was like when I first started, going to shows in the mid '90s. Um, but it's there's still a lot of shows. There's a lot of bands in this area. There aren't as many pop punk bands, traditional pop punk bands like the Canker Blossom Sound. That's kind of
Yeah.
fallen off a bit. And that's kind of the stuff that I grew up on, which is what attracted me to them in the first place. But yeah, but I mean, there's plenty of shows. There's every weekend there's shows. There's tons of clubs that have shows going on. There's a low number of all ages shows, which I think is a problem.
Ah,
Uh,
sure. Yeah.
yeah, because a lot of shows now are at bars or clubs, 18, 21 and over. And back when I was in high school, there was tons of all ages shows at fire halls, community centers and stuff like that. And that I feel has fallen off.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I just think that I don't know. It seems like I have a 14-year-old daughter, and she's really into like just pop music and hip hop and stuff like that. And it seems to be a lot of kids are into that now.
Okay. Taylor
So
Swift.
back in the day, yeah. So I just don't know if kids are still starting bands and stuff like that.
Yeah,
As much as they were. So
I see.
what about in Hawaii?
Yeah, I've noticed like I kind of just started going back to shows, and it seems like there's two main venues that are always putting on shows, and they're bars. And so
Right.
with regards to like all ages shows, I don't know if you've been to a Hawaiian Brian's here. It's like
It sounds familiar.
yeah, it's like right on
Maybe.
Kapiolani, like down the street from Ala Moana, or by the convention center if you're familiar with that
Okay.
one. Um and I believe they have all ages shows, but they got to be accompanied by an adult, I think, for certain
Oh,
shows.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think like yeah, it just seems like it's more, I guess, profitable with the bar
Right.
just cuz they can sell drinks and, you know,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't be like a waste for like if especially with a mainland band coming down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
that would make more sense for them too. So, you know,
Yeah.
um
I guess, yeah, because it costs a lot of money, I'm sure, to play Hawaii.
yeah.
So,
And I think a lot of it to do is with just that plane ticket to come
oh, yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And I don't know if like with regards to equipment too, I keep asking bands like from the like the mainland like if they got to bring down equipment or if someone
Right.
down here is gonna hook them up with like a kit,
Yeah.
especially like with drums and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but
I can imagine like having to travel with all that stuff.
yeah, but I think
Yeah.
they'll let them crash at their place too, so they got that covered.
Yeah. 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 Uh-huh.
But with other venues that are all ages, no, yeah, I think almost non-existent, pretty much, yeah. Which sucks
Yeah.
too,
I think
because
it's
then
too bad. Yeah.
there are a few like bands here that are just kids, and I think every now and then they'll be able to play like a show, but I think
Yeah.
it's got to be like early maybe.
Right. Right. Yeah.
The other bands on your label, like the Baron Marys,
Yeah.
yeah, I really dig those guys too. They're from
Yeah. They're pretty good. They're from Philly. Yeah, they contacted me right after I started the label. They're actually friends with the guy who does my artwork, who like created my logo and stuff.
oh okay, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, they're really cool. So they've been on since pretty much the beginning as well.
Okay. I'm wondering, like, when you launched your label and kind of
Yeah.
just being active, did you get like a flood of emails and demos just coming in, asking to like work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So and it's funny because one of the things that frustrated me to the point where I actually started this label was reaching out to tons and tons of labels and like not hearing anything back. Like spending the time to like put together a package of CDs and whatever, and go down to the post office and spend the money to mail stuff out and like put together emails and stuff and just never hear anything.
Mm,
And so one of the reasons when I started this label, I told myself that I'm always going to at least respond to everybody who contacts me.
nice.
and I found that is difficult because there was a lot. But I did, I eventually get around to everything. But yeah, I was getting a lot of emails, a lot of people emailing me their some songs and stuff like that. And that's like the Hi-Fi Ninja. They contacted me like that.
Oh, nice.
And when I heard the song that they sent me, I just absolutely loved it.
Nice. Yeah, that stuff is
yeah,
good too.
So, yeah.
I did my best to not myself. Let me try to explain. The last time I would know our place. We didn't need you anyway. Am I jumping the gun? You do not give a fuck. I didn't need you anyway. Just a story years and years old. When it all the time go. Wishing you had, it's too late. Know it's on you, but it's too late. On my mind, it's not changing. I don't need the contact. Holding on to what you were. Let me try to explain. When you become everything you hate, and you wanna live another way. You and I have a furnace, and I guess the truth. Your words are a puncture, pushing deeper inside the wound. Wishing you had, it's too late. Oh, it's on you, but it's too late. On my mind, it's not changing. I don't need the contact. Holding on to what you were. Let me try to explain. When you become everything you hate, and you wanna live another way. You and I have heard this, and I guess the truth. You're my time, a puncture, pushing deeper inside the wound. Wishing you had, it's too late. Know it's on you, but it's too late. In my mind, it's not changing. I don't need the contact.
Yeah, they're really they're different. They're
They are, yeah, from the rest of the
pop
label.
punk. Yeah, they're more like rock, but man, they're like intense. They're really good.
Yeah. Have you seen a lot of these bands live yet, or?
I've seen most of them, except I've never seen the Baron Marys live,
Ah,
um, or the Hi-Fi Ninja, because the Baron Marys out of Philly and Hi-Fi Ninja's
Yeah.
out of Kentucky.
right.
But yeah, so next year I'm going to try to put together some shows, and try to get some of those bands to come up to Maryland or down to Maryland in Baron Mary's case. To try to get some bands together for some kind of big snubbed record show or something.
Still fresh, yeah. Put in
Yeah.
a showcase. Showcase.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I hope to be putting together like a compilation of the bands. Hopefully by next summer I have like a vinyl come out with the compilation, and maybe have like a record release party
Nice.
in an outlet somewhere. Yeah.
Have you run into like delay problems with like the pressing plant? Any orders you've put out yet?
Not yet. So
Yeah.
I've the CD that Canker Blossom put out.
Okay.
They handled all of that, and they have a friend that presses CDs, and they came through pretty quick for that. The vinyl that I have coming out next month, I used Pirates Press in California, and it's on schedule so far. So
Yeah. Nice.
fingers. So yeah.
You get an email next week. Sorry, sir, to inform you.
Yeah. And it's a Christmas release, so it's like the Alements. And yeah, we did like an original Christmas song and a Christmas cover.
Nice.
So yeah, so we wanted it. So I ordered them at the beginning of October, so it was kind of like kind of a rush, and they're supposed to be mailed out next weekend. So hopefully that happens.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I think I've experienced too many like problems with the mail during Christmas time, so like it's like I'll kind of
Yeah.
stop ordering if I have to, like online around
Right.
December, and like maybe start again maybe either later January or February.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah.
Cause then yeah, like I got so many like I remember I think it was like last year, like orders I've ordered like in like November it didn't come in till like yeah mid January. Like, oh man,
Oh, really? Wow.
and but I almost feel
Crazy.
bad for like all these people who have to like rush it out. So I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I kind of just
Yeah.
I'll chill out.
Yeah.
Oh man, and some orders like I've had a couple orders had just never came in. Oh,
Wow.
and
That sucks.
yeah, and I guess if it's just me too, and like I'm guessing there are probably like a few others. So I'm
Yeah, I'm
like,
sure. Yeah, I'm sure you're not the only one.
yeah, it's like oh, too bad. Oh.
Hmm.
Is did it start snowing up in Baltimore yet?
It's not yet. So we were out in Colorado 2 weeks ago recording with the Elements,
Oh, okay, okay.
and it snowed. Yeah, we woke up the first morning we were there, and it was 4 inches of snow on the ground.
Oh
Um,
man.
yeah, we weren't anticipating that, but yeah, so that was kind of cool. Like that was. It usually starts snowing here maybe mid to late December at the earliest. Um, but yeah, up in Colorado, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Teleport, I have a great idea. Yeah, there's treasure near. It's right under here. Inject liquid poison in the hills. We'll use diesel drills. See if oil spills out. Tell me to turn you on. Stain it at night to drill your mother. If we keep working on them down low until they start to suffer from effects of poison water lines deforming their spines, release their oils mine. Plus we'll use puppets to provide them aid. Have some new wells made after we get paid. Of course, you're a motherfracker, yeah. I'm a motherfracker, yeah. I am a motherfracker, yeah. I'm a motherfracker, yeah. And I don't care, 'cause I live uphill from there. And to say it's a God-given right to penetrate and plunder things you hear that sound. Can you feel the crowd shudder at the weight of being torn asunder? Yeah, the danger's there, but we just don't care. You can go find somewhere else to live.
I went to New Mexico in like the last week of October, and I
Yeah.
didn't expect it to be as cold as it was. So like
Yeah.
during the day it was like maybe high 60s, and like at
Yeah. Yeah.
night it would get down to the 50s. And
Yeah.
to come back, we me and my mom stopped in Vegas to visit some relatives there,
Okay.
and it was like in the 80s in Nevada, and I was like, yo, I just bought this
Weird.
big coat from New Mexico. I can't use
Yeah.
it. Like it's so warm here. Like I hated it.
Yeah. That's funny.
And they're like, yeah, it's actually like it was still like they anticipated cold, but it was still warm. So I'm like, oh man,
Wow.
come on, Vegas. Um, did you hear Warp Tour was gonna do its final run next year?
Yeah, I actually just heard that. Yeah, I saw that this week. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That I mean those early runs of Warped Tour were awesome. Like,
Oh yeah.
you know, lately, like I was kind of like out of the whole scene for a while when I was in the Navy and kind of traveling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I remember getting back into the looking up the Warped Tour maybe like 5-10 years ago. And I remember there was one year, but I didn't even recognize the band on the bill. I felt like literally like one band. Like it was just like, what's going on?
Right.
Because then in the beginning it was like you got the Bad Religion, No Effects, the Veil. You have all like Sick of It all these like really popular bands. It was just awesome. But yeah, so I wonder if when they next year if they're going to go kind of all out and maybe have a bunch of those other bands come back.
All right. Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Does Warped Tour stop by your area?
Yeah, they either go to DC or Baltimore, and I'm right between both.
Oh, okay.
What about for you?
The last time that I know that Warped Tour came down was in Hawaii was 98 and 99.
Oh, no way.
And I did go to both of those. So on the bill the first time, let's see, the headlining band was 311 actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like they closed out Warped
That's
Tour.
actually my wife's favorite band.
That's your favorite band?
My wife's favorite band.
Oh yeah? Oh, okay. Right on. Yeah, it was cool to see them. But Mighty Mighty Boss Tones played, Blink 182, Real Big Fish, a ska band from Japan called Kimuri came down.
Okay.
And Vandals. And it was interesting because Pennywise, I guess, was supposed to be on that tour. And I think they were either still recording or just finishing up Full Circle.
Okay.
And Mighty Mighty Boss Tones mentioned that, and so they closed off their set with Brohim, which was kind of cool.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm like,
nice.
All right, nice. And the following year, Pennywise came down. And
okay, cool.
And that was like the biggest circle pit I've ever seen. Like,
oh really?
Fletcher's like, I want this whole, because it's at it was at Waimanalo Polo Field, so I'm not sure if you've ever been on that side, but it's like,
no, I've never been there.
It's the horse ranch, so it's a pretty big field, and so like it was just a one giant circle pit on that ranch field.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, and then I've only been to. They said there's 23 Warped Tours, and so I could say I've been to 3 of them. So one I went into Vegas, and so that's when it started. The whole I want to say like it was a lot of it was like screamo bands, kind of that metalcore sound. All right.
Yeah.
And it was weird because it's in a parking lot, and the first 2 I went to were in a field, so it was
that was weird.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's a big parking lot. All right. When's the last one you went to?
Oh man, it's
been a while.
It had to have been maybe the last one you went to.
Oh, okay.
Like it's probably late 90s.
Yeah, like all the forerunners of the tour. So you got all these old school bands playing. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm curious to see who plays next year. It should be. I bet you it's pretty big.
But then that'd be a good opportunity for like someone else to step up and do their own tour.
Yep.
I say that Idleminds, is it Idleminds?
Yeah, Idleminds. Yeah.
Yeah, that track you sent me too is pretty dope.
Yeah, they're really good. We've been with them a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Waldorf, is that outside of Bmore too? Baltimore.
Yeah, it's pretty much like it's like a half an hour south of me, so it's like maybe like almost an hour south of Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've played with them a few times, and they're really cool guys too. The singer Chris is helping me out with stuff, and he's very active and with his band and the scene and stuff like that. So I'm pretty close with those guys.
Watching the city fall apart, brick by brick the fires burned us where they were lit. Anger turns to resentment, and the people destroy their own with nowhere to call their own. city fall apart. Red Rite, break the fires, burn my sweat. They were let anger turns to resentment, and the people destroy their own with nowhere to call their own. With nowhere to call their own. Nowhere that they call their own. Nowhere that they call their home. Nowhere that they call their home.
And with regards to like the sound of all the bands on your label, do you hope to maybe branch out into like other kind of genres?
Yeah, so I have like I had no plans on doing that at first, but I have friends that play in other bands and stuff like that, and I have had interest in from like some shoegaze
Oh, okay.
bands, which I didn't even know what shoegaze was until like 2 months ago. But it's kind of like alternative rock or whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, right now I'm like stacked and pretty busy.
Yeah.
Have a few releases coming out next year, so I'm not really looking to expand right now. But yeah, that's something that I could definitely see myself doing, expanding in the future to other genres.
Yeah. The when I first read about like shoegaze, yeah, I didn't get it either. Like
Yeah,
just like I guess the definition of what shoegaze is, but
right.
I've heard it and I like it.
Yeah, yeah,
But that kind of threw me off. I'm like, now every time if I see a band that they would refer to themselves as shoegaze, okay, what's your setup like?
yeah, yeah.
Do you got a lot of pedals? I only see 2, and one's a tuner.
I know. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I was playing with a shoegaze band, and they had like tons of pedals. There was like 7 extra guitars he had on a rack. It's like, yeah.
Like, really? Come on, guys. No. Right on, right on. Yeah, because the roster seems pretty stacked right now. So I
Yeah,
think
yeah. It kind of it grew, almost a little overwhelmingly, but it's being handled fine. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way things are right now.
Cool. Do you kind of do a meet and greet like with the bands before you sign them, or like you're just like
So I did with with Canker Blossom, we kind of hung out and met at a place and had lunch and drinks and stuff like that.
nice.
But with the other bands, I kind of already know them.
That's cool.
And with Hi-Fi Ninja, I've become friends with their singer, his name is also Ron, and we've been chatting a lot via Facebook and stuff like that. He's a super cool guy. And they're really stoked to be on Snub,
Nice.
which is really cool. So they do a lot of they do a lot of promotion for us down there in Kentucky, and we've got like I got like a whole bunch of new likes and stuff once I signed them. So I really appreciate the work that they do
Yeah.
to kind of get them out down there. So
It seems like I'll say like easier nowadays with like with running a label like and just meeting the bands. It's
yeah.
through social media. Like I've heard stories like with other labels they would actually send a guy out and
Oh,
like
sweet. Yeah.
like just like I guess go on a tour himself and just check out bands
Yeah.
in other cities.
Yeah, like a scout kind of.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. The scouts, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. You can just meet virtually now. That's
Yeah,
neat.
it is. It's really super convenient.
Yeah. And I think even with writing songs, you can do it in different states. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any do you put together tours too for the bands that you work with, or is that all on them?
So the tours and the shows are I don't deal with any of that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know next year there's going to be a couple of the bands that are touring, and I definitely will help them out. But as far as setting up the shows, that's not something I've done yet.
Mm.
But definitely would be willing to, I'll definitely be helping them out, with money and stuff like that.
For sure.
Yeah, but and that's something that I might get into. I mean, I just
Mm.
really there haven't been any tours since I've had the label.
All right.
yeah. So we'll
When
see when it comes.
have you toured
Yeah.
the country with the Alements? Any big tours before?
We haven't toured. I toured when I was when I was like in my early 20s.
Mm.
I was in a band and we toured like the East Coast a couple times. But yeah, the Alements haven't toured. We're like older and we have kids and jobs and stuff, so it's
Yeah,
like it'd be really hard to get all of us.
yeah. Imagine.
I mean, the most we could do is probably a week or two, maybe like up and down the East Coast, something like that. Um, yeah, and that might be something we look into next year. But yeah, so I haven't toured with this band.
Ah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I imagine that'd be hard. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know Canker Blossom's going to tour in the spring, um, and that should be good because they're getting a lot of right now. So that should go well for them.
All right.
I'm going to send you a new track that we did. So the Ailments were just in Colorado recording a song with Bill Stevenson from the Descendants
Okay.
at his studio. Yeah, and we just got the master back last night. So
Oh, okay. Cool, man.
yeah, send that to you so you can take a listen to it.
Yeah, sure, sure.
He's a rolling snowball in a ping pong game of pride. Divide the population, make them choose a side. And that'll make it easier to see who's wrong and right. Fire banners high now, it's time to join the fight. 'Cause I got a right to hate. Yeah, I got a right to hate. Yeah. Tolerance is overrated. Nobody notices they're cheated when the media sings. It's money, son. Our anthem doesn't preach discrimination. So tell me how we've convinced our nation it's our privilege to tell others they're wrong. Sing along. I got a right to hate. I got a right to hate. Yeah. Because you see, it's all the same. When it goes glory and fame. Kill 'em all and we'll sort 'em out later. Hater, yeah. Hunt 'em down, your cause is righteous. 'Cause you believe in a higher power. Build your enemies up with lies and then destroy their tower. Here I am with my book in one hand and my certainty in the other. I will suspect my neighbor and pass judgment on my brother. Why is it safe to fear most those with religious fervor? You think you got all of that's fun to make believe? Just don't push your hate on me. You don't push your hate. You don't push it on me. I got a right.
So what's your biggest goals right now for Snubbed?
I mean, right now, like I'm just happy to be working with I'm friends with just about all the bands that I'm dealing with. So right now it's just kind of like getting some distribution, getting the albums out there, getting more and more people to listen to it, doing interviews like this, and I really appreciate it, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and just getting these bands heard, and then see where it takes me from there. But yeah, right now I'm just happy to be helping out the bands and getting their music out there as best I can.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it seems to now, well, not easy to just start up a label. 'Cause, yeah, it's a lot of time and a lot of work,
Yeah.
especially in the music industry now.
Right.
I mean, I think people are making it work. I think there's this one label in Vegas where
Uh-huh.
the guy took out his like retirement fund and just started a label.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And so I think he's happy, and it's
That's
just like
cool.
with him. Like I think when he started, he signed a lot of. It's all local based bands though, so
Right, right.
everyone's in Vegas on that label,
That's
which is
cool.
really cool. Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
diverse scene over there.
Yeah. I like Vegas a lot. It's pretty cool.
A lot of diversity in Baltimore with regards to music.
Yeah, definitely. There's that's a good thing about Baltimore. I mean, you look at these clubs and they'll, on any given night it's a totally different type of genre. But yeah, it's totally like a whole bunch. I mean, everything's super popular here. Like even within punk, you have like pop punk, and you have like hardcore punk. You have like there's a lot of metal bands around here.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, so I mean, yeah, you definitely have a good mix of different things going on in this area.
Yeah, I had to look up a US map. I have no idea where Philadelphia and like
Oh,
was
yeah.
like with relative to Maryland. So
Yeah, it's like an hour. I mean, yeah, it's about 2 hours north of where I am.
oh, okay.
Um, yeah, I lived in Philly when I was a kid too. So,
Oh,
um, yeah,
born and raised. Or
yeah,
sorry, I had Fresh Prince in my head. I had to.
West Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, I gotta ask about Trigger 13.
Yeah.
Pretty dope stuff.
So they yeah, so Trigger 13, they let's see, the first time I met those guys,
Wow.
I played a show in Baltimore with them. And we hit it off right away because as far as like bands that play kind of pop punk, there's not too many of us. So when we do find each other, we tend to like stick together. And they were one band that was into the same bands that we're into and stuff like that. So we hit it off right away. And once they heard that I was starting a label, they were one of the first bands to email me and want to jump on.
Nice.
Yeah, and they're super active in the music scene here too. So they've also done a lot to help promote Snub.
Nice.
Yeah, they kind of have like that horror. It's kind of like a horror punk kind of little, they have a bit of that horror punk
Yeah.
thing, kind of like Savage Remains and the Independents.
Hmm.
I've always liked. So that's kind of attracted me to them as well.
Yeah. Do you guys like with like the Alements? Do you guys get together and practice regularly?
Yeah, we try to practice every Sunday evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't always work out that way, but that's our kind of penciled in practice time of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we have 3 shows coming up in December, so we haven't really practiced in a while because we've been getting ready to record that song that we did 2 weeks ago. So
Oh, okay.
past month and a half, we've been playing that one song over and over again. So, yeah, we really need to start buckling down and preparing for these 3 shows we have coming up.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, is punk rock dead, or is it still thriving?
I think it's still thriving. I mean, I think I would say no, punk rock is not dead, but
Yeah.
I think it's I don't know.
Like
Maybe it's sick.
it's sick.
I don't know.
Every now and
I
then
don't know.
I'll read something
Yeah,
online. I'm like,
yeah.
really? Is it? I don't think it is. But
No, I don't think it is. I mean, there's you get young bands like Canker, they're like in their early 20s coming up and doing awesome things, and I think every area has at least a couple bands like that, I hope.
yeah.
But it seems to I think it's alive.
Yeah, and
If I had to pick, yeah.
like that I've seen a couple live live shows of Canker Blossom, and they're so energetic. Like
Oh yeah, they are.
it's so like to me, like I'd be like tired by like the fourth song. It looks like the way they play.
No, I turned 40 in 2 weeks, and like
Yeah.
there's some shows where like if we have like a 45-minute set, the last song or two, I'm just like I need to get on stage or else I'm gonna pass out. Like just
Aw.
yeah, so it's like when you watch Canker Blossom, Alicia and Jonah and Nathan, they're kind of like all over the place, like full of energy and youthfulness, and it makes me jealous. But yeah, they're awesome. So
So jealous. Yes. Right on,
do
man.
you come to the mainland often?
Not often as I'd like. And it's usually just to Vegas because that's where like the rest of my family is. Like all my siblings live
Okay.
there. So, and I lived
Okay.
there for like 2 years. So,
All right.
living in Vegas is different than like going there for
I
like
kind of have to live there. Yeah.
the weekend. Like, oh my goodness, man! And you learn about like how the crowd really is.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and I think the best place to kind of in Vegas, like I worked at a gas station, and
Yeah.
it was the worst. Like just I never experienced like that much hate with like regards to like
Really?
just customer service. Like,
Wow.
and I think it was just the spot too because it was like the the last gas station. If you're going towards like Pahrump, which is like outside of Vegas,
Yeah.
and it's like we get all like the truck drivers and
Oh, okay.
that kind of scene, like people passing by. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, so it's not all residents, but I was just
Yeah.
surprised.
I had a.
Ooh.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine living there, man. Like it's kind of like when I lived in Hawaii. Like there was. It's interesting when you go to Honolulu, like because there's so many people on vacation that it's like it's
Mm.
every night's like a Friday night, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's kind of like how Vegas is too. Like it's just constant craziness.
Oh yeah, every day
So
is a Friday night.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
funny too because I guess people assume like you can like people have customers come in smoking cigarettes, drinking beer. Like, no, you can't do that.
yeah,
This is not the
yeah, yeah.
casino.
No, yeah, that's yeah. That going there for the first time and like watching people walk around the strip drinking beers, it was like crazy.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
yeah.
so you lived down here for what? About was it 5 years? You lived down here?
No, I was only there for like a year and a half.
Year and a half? Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yep.
Well, that's cool. That's early
Yeah, Hawaii is
2000s.
beautiful, man. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice. It's getting expensive here too though. So
Yeah, I remember like if it wasn't for the commissary, like being in the military, man, like everything there is so expensive. Just
Mm.
like,
yeah, right now they're building a rail. Um
oh really?
and yeah, it's just running into a few problems. I think like it was supposed to be I feel like it was supposed to be like done like years ago, but it's still
Yeah,
going on right now. Like there's still I think a lot has to do with like budget stuff. So
right,
all
right.
right. I don't know if you ever been like it. It seems similar like to the Max in Portland. I don't know if you ever been there.
No, I've never
Um.
been to Portland.
Oh, okay. Um. They had a really nice train system there, and so
Okay,
I think that's what they're shooting for here.
okay,
Um,
gotcha.
it's supposed to ease the traffic,
Yeah,
but no, it's
yeah. Traffic was horrible. I remember that. It was just like so bad.
Oh, right. Okay, so you got to experience traffic then, right?
Oh yeah,
Nice. Yeah, it's still here.
yeah.
It's still here. Well, cool, man. I think that's good enough here. Um,
All right, cool.
let's see. Anything that you'd like to plug? Any upcoming shows, releases?
Yeah. So next month we have a split 7-inch coming out called Christmas Classics. It's the Elements and the Independents. So that should be up. I should have my store section of my website up within the next 2 weeks.
Nice.
Once that comes out, I'm going to put that up. Subtastics come out with a cassette at the end of December.
Nice.
Idleminds will be coming out with their EP probably in January. And Hi-Fi Ninja's working on an album right now. Next year should be pretty big.
Nice.
Next year should be pretty big, yeah. But right now, look out for that split 7-inch
Nice.
and the Cascade Subtastics.
Okay. Oh, I gotta ask too. Any international interests, like bands from outside the country, contact you?
I haven't actually talked to any bands from outside of the country. I know Idleminds is also on a label in England,
Oh,
so
okay.
they share and I plan on talking to that label and trying to kind of work some kind of like a distribution thing or something to have kind of like each of us help get the word out about each other here and there. So yeah, maybe that will bring some interest. So we'll see.
Nice, nice. Well, cool, man. Ron, I appreciate your time and thank you for being on the
Yeah, man.
show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, man. This is really cool.
Yeah, man. Keep in touch, man. And
Definitely, I'll send you that track when later on today.
cool. All right. I'll keep an eye out for that, man.
Cool, man.
All right. Well, have a good rest of your day, man. And talk soon.
Thanks. All right, man. Take care.
All right. You too, man. See you around.
Bye.
Bye.
Sometimes you will never win. Sometimes you will never win. Get up and you try again. Sometimes you will never win. When I was a high school cheerleader, I don't think I saw you there. When all the girls thought I was prettier, with spearmint gum in my hair. And when I was a high school cheerleader, where were you when I was bored and throwing my shoes at the players when they called me a stupid whore? La 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 la
Well, that is it for this show. Thank you again for tuning in and checking it out. What you just heard was the track High School Cheerleader by Canker. The track comes off of their latest album, In Space. out now through Snubbed Records. Once again, thanks to Ron. Thank you for your time and for being on the show. I'll have links to all the bands you heard on today's episode, as well as links to Snubbed Records on this podcast website, takingaleadmedia.com, or you can just visit snubbedrecords.com. That's SNUBBED records.com. Please do check out the bands on today's show and their respective links. I'll have them posted as well. And you can also check out past episodes and my on and off ramblings too. If you do me the favor, please do rate and review this podcast on iTunes, because this be an Apple podcast. 1 star, 5 stars, you decide. Any feedback will help with improving the show and definitely help the podcast climb the charts. I'll be very grateful for that. Also, please do recommend this show to a friend. They may find their new favorite band on a future episode. This podcast is also on YouTube. Search Taking the Lead Media, and on Tumblr on oneshotsideshow.tumblr.com. Be sure to hit me up on Twitter at TTLMPodcast. I do love the interaction on there. You may also contact me through email with any comments, questions, music recommendations, submissions, or just to say hi. Please do forward any other general correspondence to takingtheleadmedia@gmail.com. Next week's episode will more than likely be a more metal-ish hardcore type show, so please be sure to tune in. Until then, my name is Onofre, and I'll be signing off until the next Taking the Lead Media podcast. Thanks for listening.
This constant pressure raises all my antidotes. So much I can't control it. You praise and squeeze and take the man. Your broken love. So much I can't control it.